Hello, everybody. Yes, it happened this afternoon.
I feel a disturbance in the force.
Oh, yeah, you gotta.
It is here. We are going to be doing the cage today. We are going to have fog insulation. And now I'm going to be able to put the insulation on this cage, and I'm not going to have to deal with mist that drifts out. Yeah, it's pointed to the back of the cage, but as we know, it's still wet down here. It comes out here, it gets on the floor, and I lose my fog. Shamrocks love their humidity and love their fog. And so, especially with shamrocks, I need to enclose this area a little bit more. Now, this also works on all my other chameleons. They, like panthers and veils, will actually tolerate having drier conditions. But once you give them the full humidity, they do so much better. I was there with panthers in Madagascar, and the humidity, daytime humidity was like 80, 90%. And then at nighttime, it just went up from there. So these are not dry weather chameleons. And veiled chameleons don't come from the dry areas that you see in Yemen. They come from mountain valleys that are essentially oases in the mountains. And so chameleons, generally speaking, they enjoy humidity. So this is what we are going to do. Finally got my sticky double-sided sticky tape. And you'll be able to see me do this because this is quality video time entertainment. All right, so let's talk about for someone who's new. This is the window insulation. What it's used for is when you need to insulate your windows, and this is your house. This is meant for human houses. And what it does is it traps air between the window and the rest of the house, and that air acts as an insulator. And so you can save a lot on your energy bills. Well, the wonderful thing about it is it does really well keeping in mist and fog and humidity. Now, the way we're using it's not going to keep in temperature as much, but that's not what we need. That's not what I need. So you're going to see a very exciting thing of me putting the film on this cage. And see, what I'm going to do is this front of the Rectibreeze is a screen cage. I'm going to put the film on the front. This insulation is so good that you can actually remove this screen from the front and just use this window film insulation. Now, when I first did it, I wasn't entirely sure that I wanted to trust it, but I can tell you, I now have that particular screen cage outside to where I just replaced the screen and I put the film, and it has held through summer and winter. I'm actually pretty impressed. So at any time, I can take out this screen if I want to be able to see without having to look through screen. It's nice and clear. Now, the screen actually is a valuable tool for me because I can let feeder insects run up the screen. And so that's really the only reason why I like having screen. Anyway, let's go ahead. I'm going to put this on. Now the one tricky part on this is you have to do it so the latches still can lift off. The hinges are not a problem. The latches, you just have to get tricky. You have to make sure you have some space around it. And this seal doesn't have to be 100%. It's fine if you have an open area here. Okay, I'm going to be taking off the other side of the double-sided sticky tape, and then I'm going to be putting on the film. Okay, I messed that up because I was thinking about doing filming and not about how I should have done it. How I should have done it is by just removing the tape of this top part, putting on the film, and then slowly removing the rest of the tape as I went down. As it is, when I try to put the film up here, it's going to be sticking all the way down here and causing a real pain in the butt. So please don't do it this way. This is going to be painful. All right, well, that's life. There we go. It's all sticking before I want it to. Worst comes to worst, you can always redo it. So anyway, we'll see how this goes. The thing is, if you don't get it tight, then that's so much more that the hairdryer has to. It's only going to shrink a certain amount. So you do want it tight, and you don't want too many of these creases on here. Anyway, we'll see how this goes. And I need to clean it up a little bit, but I'll do that later. There we go. Now, I'm going to quickly do the bottom part. And as I said before, I'm actually not going to do the entire thing. I'm going to leave the top inch free because I want to get some ventilation. And now I'm going to do this the right way. I am only going to be taking off the double-sided sticky tape of the top area. Then I can put this on without worrying about it sticking everywhere. There, see how much easier that was? All right, I'm going to do a little bit of fogging, and we're going to try it out, and I'll do a little bit of a talk about humidity while it's fogging. All right, well, you're not going to be able to see the fog going in right now just because it's darker in the room, and so the light back there is just the camera doing crazy things with the light, but just so they can see me. But the job is done, and so now I'm going to see how well the cage fills with fog. Obviously, this is something that will happen at night, and well, got to test it out now. Now, as far as humidity, I had an interesting conversation with Michael Nash this morning, and Michael is at this time in Madagascar, and we've been talking about Madagascar comparing notes. And he's talking about going on the same part of the same trip that we will be going on in January. And so we're talking about that. But the one thing that he has noted, which was the exact same thing that I noted, is that it's very humid there, like 80, 90%, but it's not stuffy. And we're talking about during the day. So these chameleons that we're working with, whether Panther or O'Shaughnessy, they are used to high humidity days. And we've always talked about taking it down to 50% during the day because we want the cage surfaces to dry out. Well, here we're being faced with a conflict between what they're getting in the wild and what we at least feel we have to do to maintain hygiene within the cage that we're using captivity. We're definitely using a smaller space than nature has, and so the larger the space, the more freedom you have to create environments. And so this is going to be a challenge for us in the chameleon community moving forward. Those of us who are trying to move our husbandry forward, and being able to get solid sides as easily as using this film is going to be a powerful tool in our toolbox to try to move forward and figure things out. Within this group, we are very interested in moving forward and learning how to take care of our chameleons in a naturalistic way. I think the number one area where we need to improve is hydration and humidity. I'll be talking to Michael Nash when he comes back. He's going to come onto the show. We're going to be talking about what we experienced and throwing out ideas as to what we can try to recreate the feeling that we got. And this is why going to Madagascar is so important, is because you can look at numbers all day, but it's the feeling when you're there, you go, oh, this is what it's supposed to be like. And then you go home and you say in your cage and you're going, it's kind of there, but not really. And this is the important part of going. It's because we want to be able to get that feeling and at least start working on how we can get that feeling in our cages at home. And this is one reason why I love the route that me and Patrick, who is going to be the Malagasy guide that's going to take us in January, this itinerary that we've put together leads us to areas that cover a wide variety of the chameleon species that are being imported. And that's not by accident. I wanted to be able to be there in the habitats of carpet chameleons, shamrock chameleons, Parsons chameleons, panther chameleons, Furcifer wilsey, Furcifer minor, Kaluma brevicorn, or Crypticum. You know, that's kind of hard to tell which ones we actually ran into. I think it's Crypticum, but you know, they're pretty similar. Add to that the mini Kalumas and Brockesia, and we're getting a wide range. Oh, and Kaluma malthae. I know I'm going to end up with the Kaluma malthae sooner or later. It's going to happen. I think it's just my destiny. Not right. I'm trying to not complicate my life. Focus on the shamrock chameleons. But, Anyway, I'm preparing because I know it's inevitable. Let's see. Kaluma gastritania. There's malthae. And so these are all chameleon species which are available to us. And so these are the species that we really should be aware of what their natural habitat is like. And having been there myself last year, a year from January, I can tell you there is no substitute for being there in person. And I am grateful that I chose to do that. And that's why I'm going again next January. And I've talked to Patrick and he says, yeah, let's make it a chameleon trip. And so if you all want to come on a trip to Madagascar with me and a bunch of other chameleon enthusiasts, then send me an email at bill@chameleonacademy.com or DM me on Instagram. And I can give you information, talk to you, give you details, and see if you want to come. We are halfway to the minimum, and I'm going to cut it off to be as small of a group as possible so we can be nimble. But if you're interested, let me know. All right, everybody, I want to wish you a happy Thursday. Thank you for sharing this time with me in the morning and getting your day started with chameleon goodness. Please remember, hit the like on the way out. Let YouTube know this is a good place to be. You've got the coupon code Chameleon10, which gets you 10% off at thebiodude.com. And if you're looking for a high-end chameleon enclosure, remember the Arboreal XL right there from Custom Reptile Habitats on the Chameleon Academy line is available for you. And finally, I want to thank you very much for spending this time with me. It's a blast starting the day with you. And so go out there, please take care of yourself, be excellent to each other, and I'll see you next time.